Okay.
Hello and welcome to our channel, Unity for Gaia. I'm Melissa. And this is my husband,
This is Ivan.
Ivan.
I don't know who she was pointing to, but whatever.
And we are here today to share just some things we've discovered on our own journey, what we're working through, some different modalities, teachers, wonderful things that have helped us. We just came back from a road trip and, lots of discoveries made there as well. So we're going to share some of that. And so welcome. We've titled this video and Ground Crew because that is all of us. If you are here watching this and you are on the Ascension path, you are on the awakened path, the spiritual path, whatever vernacular you want to use, you are the ground crew. You're those of us that have incarnated here to assist. And this is so important right now, to be on top of our processes, our healing, and coming forward to assist the planet. Not only Gaia, but all inhabitants of Gaia, right? It's a big it's a big job. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And before we get started and go any further, Ivan?
Just to remind everyone that we're doing this for everyone. No one's left behind. There's not, we're going to be cliquey and I'm going to be part of this crew or that crew or what a lot of people get caught up in. This is what the cool kids are doing, so we're going to stick to this, or I want to be popular, so I want to stick to that, and then lose yourself in a lot of that, which actually distracts from doing your actual inner work. And a lot of it can be challenging. You may go through a bit of, mood swings. You might start feeling some annoyances or something like that, but this is part of doing the work. This is part of us shifting us into a higher frequency, and in doing so, which what we discovered in our road trip is just a lot of that, doing your own inner work, becoming that better, more evolved, more mature version of yourself, and in doing so, you just emanate more of that divinity that you are, more of that light that you are. You are a light bringer in this beautiful reality. And we have a beautiful planet named Gaia that she's waiting for us. She's waiting for everyone to do their work and do their process. She is it's called Mother Nature. It's called Mother Earth for a reason. And like a mother, she's waiting for all her children to do their work so she can go ahead and collectively in union move up and ascend. So
Yes. Time for all of us to step up, which is something that I'm sure I've seen it through different social media and places that, I've been looking and just, you like to see what's going on, where everybody's at collectively. And something I think we've all felt for a long time, and I was really feeling it right before the weirdness of 2020 hit. Starts with a C, and we'll leave it at that because you all know what I'm talking about. Just this it was really it's time to go, it's time to get going and to really get on these businesses we want to create and these things we want to do. And then that happened, and it was just stopping and pulling over to the side of the road, right? The car stalled. You really felt kind of stuck, you weren't getting a lot of traction. The energy wasn't there to support stuff. And we are coming out of that now. We're coming out the other side. Mm-hmm. The chaos has been created. The dismantling has been created. And we got to remember that this is the way that the collective consciousness chose to go about their awakening. This is the way that was chosen for them to see what is actually happening, for them to learn. So in that sense, we know, so we really can't get too caught up in that. You can watch it, you can see it, don't put an emotional charge on it, which I know is difficult because it's did you see what so-and-so is doing or whatever? But to not get distracted by that so that we can keep on our path, cutting that clear path forward and do what we actually came to do. So somebody that we both absolutely love, and she is amazing, is Elena Danaan. If you're not familiar with her, we recommend that you look up her work. She's been on As You Wish Talk Radio with James Gilliland from ECETI, and they have been talking a lot about just the work that the Galactic Federation of Worlds has been doing, and how there's been a lot of liberation in our star system, and that it's really up to us now here on Earth, on the ground, to start doing what we came to do. And then we were listening to that, and then we heard, was it Z Earthstar Healer? It was Z. Mm-hmm. She was talking about, doing the healing work and how important the healing work is. Like, it's us. We have to do the healing work. Like, everyone's complaining about, hey, like, why aren't things happening faster? But we have to do our work and step on our paths as well. And just reaffirmed for us what we were already seeing, which is distractions. And that's something we both have been working on, just really getting out of our home, getting out of our lives, and not being stuck in the rabbit hole. I got some other names for it, but we'll say rabbit hole. The rabbit hole of Ascension Entertainment. So.
Ascension Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more apt, because what's entertainment? Really, entertainment is escape from your actual reality. You're wanting to forget what's in front of you. You're wanting to forget your everyday life, whether it's a mundane habit, a mundane cycle, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's just that, whether it's technology, whether it's people that all want your attention and want to do this all the time to pull you away or to pull you in this direction, just because they want your attention. And what I mean by attention is they want your advice, when in actuality, we all have all the answers within each one of us. But I'll use myself as an example. I have been, all my life, I've been the person that a lot of people would come to for whatever reason. It just happened organically that way. And they would constantly ask, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Wanting an advice of one matter or another. And this is prior to me going through my awakening process. And now even more so that I have been growing and evolving and becoming even more intuitive, talking to my guides, talking to my higher self, talking directly to source, connecting with my Christ consciousness essence within myself in that sense. Via meditation, via breath work, it doesn't matter. The fact is, people are aware that we are all very well connected, but that I am able to communicate very clearly with my guides, my teams, whoever. And with that, a lot of people sometimes, and you may find this in your life, where a lot of people are constantly coming to you and wanting your advice on one topic and another, and you feel that by you being that participant, that you're actually doing someone a favor. A favor? No, that's not the word. What's the other word?
Well, you're assisting them because we all want to help.
Right. But how are you helping them? Are you helping them help themselves figure their own answers out? Or are you literally creating that codependency of, I'm your guru, come to me and I'll solve all your issues, right? That's way out of balance.
A dependency, right?
Right.
Age of the guru's over, babe.
Yeah, no. we're every single one of us here on this beautiful blue planet is a guru.
Yes.
And as far as distraction goes, is that can be a distraction. People constantly wanting your attention. Turn the cell phone off. Turn your Wi-Fi off. Disconnect 100% from technology and 100% from people, and literally just be with yourself. Even if that means be in total silence, if you can. I know if you have children and whatever, that's a totally different story. A lot of super moms and super dads out there, but finding time to make yourself a priority, so that you can start discovering more of yourself. The question a lot of times that gets asked is, who am I? What am I here to do? Well, when you're being distracted in all directions, and I got to go to this, I got to attend that, I got to go handle this meeting, I got to whatever. Well, you're not going to find that out because your energy is literally being scattered all over the place or fractalized, all over the place. So you need to pull all that energy back into yourself and focus within yourself.
Yes.
One thing I will share is, in my experience, especially as of recently, when I have had technology, your cell phones, your computers, whatever, turned on, even if the Wi-Fi is turned on, in meditation, the mental chatter is blah, 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 a lot more. And what I've noticed is whenever I've disconnected the Wi-Fi and turned off all cell phones, all technology whatsoever, when I go into meditation, or even if I go walking out in nature away from no cell phone in pocket or a clip or whatever, not easily or readily available for people to contact me, my mind is a lot clearer. And my communication with my guides and also my feeling into my environment, feeling into the trees, feeling into the elementals, which a lot of people like to toss that word about. Oh, the elemental kins and blah, blah. I talk to them. Okay, how do you talk to them? Are you talking to them on a cell phone? Are you emailing them or what? You talk to them when you literally get all the distractions away and you sit with yourself quietly for the longest time. It does take time, but with time you're going to start recognizing, okay, this is how I feel. Okay, when I walk out in nature, my body, and one thing that I've been observing, and that's been my experience, how my body reacts. Am I at ease? Did I all of a sudden I start becoming a little bit on the defensive, or do I just lull out and I'm just gliding? And I say gliding just because you're not even thinking that you're walking. Your body is literally on autopilot. You're just mesmerized with the scenery. And again, you start doing that more and more, and just like anything else, you practice that more and more. All of a sudden, you start feeling small little subtle sensations within your body that's synchronized with the environment. And once you start recognizing that, and just like anything else, you continue to practice that with yourself and with it, whatever, however you choose to do it, you start picking up little things. All of a sudden, it may be your own tone of voice in your head saying hello, and you're thinking, okay, well, that was weird. Why did I just tell myself hello? And it may be a situation where you're literally picking up on the energy of an elemental, a being, or nature, or even the trees saying hello to you, even though it sounds as if it's your own tone, but you hear it inside your head, not necessarily via your ear. It's all within your head as far as communication goes with your guides or with anything else, but you have to make yourself a priority to make time for yourself. And a lot of people, unfortunately, are too busy scattering themselves all over the place. And then they wonder, how come I haven't figured it out? Well, when was the last time you actually sat down, or even don't even sit down, go off for a walk, whether it's out in nature or somewhere where you're totally secluded from people. It's preferably out in nature.
Yeah, I think one of the most uncomfortable things for people, what I noticed over the years of like being an instructor in the fitness industry, and in particularly more with like yoga, because we go on silent retreats and do things like that, is that people really freak out when they have to be alone with themselves, because it's almost like they're afraid of what's going to come to the surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
And something we were talking about earlier is, in my teens, I learned the expression, to know thyself is to know God. And that really stuck with me. And so every time something, has come up in my life, it's like I keep going to the root and digging for it and digging for like, where's the origin? Like, what's the root cause of this emotion? This situation, why I'm reacting this way or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And that's uncomfortable for a lot of people.
Right.
They just don't want to do the work, right? Which circles back to what this is all about. Ground crew, it's time to get on it and do the work, right?
Right.
And as far as being healers, all of us that are here, that are doing this in some way, we are healers because we're going through a healing process, right?
Right.
So if you go through a healing process, that gives you the tools to assist others with healing. So you have that experience, it's just like you go to college and you can read books, but you need to get out in the world and have the experience, the actual physical knowledge to really apply and to understand what you're doing, right?
Right.
So you need to go through the experiences yourself. And a lot of us, there's a lot of things, everything that you can imagine horrific has happened, including addiction patterns and everything else. But you heal it and you come out the other side, and now you have the tools and you start to work on that mastery so that you can assist others that are coming to you for that work. You've been through it, you know what to look for, you understand what it feels like.
Right.
And you can really communicate that, right? You're just not talking at the person about something you have no actual knowledge and experience about. And that's why it's so important to do your work and to heal as well, is to raise your frequency, right? Because it's really about the frequency of the planets going up and our frequency. We want to pull up and go with it. And the more of us that do our work and we get on our path and start to assist others, now it's like the light continues to grow, the frequency continues to grow. We start to spread that and to help. A lot of teachers right now and beautiful healers that are out there, they're talking about how they're booked up with sessions for the next year or two, right?
Right.
So we all need to be getting on this path and start doing this. Both of us, we are doing BQH sessions now together as a couple or separately. And this is, I even had a career in aviation. And I've worked with people all my life, but it's been just, the physical body aspect of it. And so we've been going through our healing and awakening process for several years, and we've come to the time where we are starting to do this work with others now to assist them on their path. We're very connected, intuitive, clairaudient, etc., etc. And so we have the ability to help others, and that's what you do. You do the work on self to bring it forward and to assist others, and the light continues to spread and grow. The healing continues to spread and grow.
Right.
And it's so important right now to do that. And just because you are helping others with your healing, it doesn't mean that you're done with your healing either. You're always working on it. It's like, oh, I thought I healed that, and then something circles it back 6 months later, and you're like, I was set off by that, or there's something else there that I need to dig into deeper. But it's that commitment to doing the work and committing to yourself and committing to this process is so important. And that is so where our focus is right now.
Right. What that also comes back to is, my saying of no one can take better care of yourself than yourself. So this is part of taking care of yourself. At times does it feel heavy and drudgy and whatever? Sure, but that's part of healing. You do go through a garden of poo before you go to arrive to the garden of roses here. I'm just saying. Handle your poo, guys. Handle your poo.
Yes.
Just trying to be PG here. Anyways.
Your guides are waiting with the poo bags. Pick it up. Let's go. Clean the lawn.
Really? Really? Now I'm a dog? Really? My guides. Anyways, little giggle attacking all of a sudden. Apparently so. No, it's just that. I mean, this is part of making yourselves a priority, because who better to take care of you than you? And in the process, if you are a parent, a caretaker, whatever, however you choose to participate in life and interact with other people, you give a better version of yourself as you continue to work on yourself and as you continue to grow and expand. And by that, I'm just going to break it down because I'm so methodical. I am. But when you work on yourself, what does that mean? That means you're emanating more light. What does that mean? That means you're able to cycle more light through you. What does that mean? You're emanating and expanding even more. What does that mean? You're affecting your environment even that much more in a very, very positive manner, just because you've invested the time on yourself and you made yourself a priority. Some of those feelings, feelings I was going to say memories, but a lot of times I don't remember a lot. It's just feelings. And then, as she says, you find out, first be brave for your own sake, because no one's going to rescue you but you. Let's get that clear. If you're looking for a rescuer, you are that rescuer. You are that hero. You are that freaking, I don't know what. Like what she said, my dog. So start doing that. Start helping yourself. If you want to talk to God, source, whatever, how do you think you get a better connection with him? The more you clear yourself, the stronger the connection is. It's that simple, and it's just a byproduct of holding more light and expanding and expanding and expanding. And as you interact with other people that have not been doing the work because they don't know any better, they're not aware, whatever, you're actually assisting them because your light is so strong to transmute a lot of the debris and garbage and distractions from their energetic field to where all of a sudden certain sensations and feelings start to come up, and they might project onto you. Being around you makes me feel uncomfortable or whatever. That's fine. It's coming up for them to see it, and you being around them brings that to the surface for them to see. She has said some things or certain phrases via her guides or what have you that have brought up something within myself that I correlated it towards the being in the military service, that I thought I had already healed, but obviously not, because we were in a very we're always in a good mood, but we're just having a conversation. All of a sudden, I went from everything's fine to, I don't like her right now. Why don't I like her right now? Right? And I started literally feeling into that. What about what she said made me feel uncomfortable, made me feel on guard of not liking her right now. And as I give myself the opportunity to feel where that feeling came from, and it was just a phrase of, as an example, you're used to giving orders, military, right? It's something that I never really liked to begin with, just because I'm a little bit of a silent rebel, but I'm a rebel, in a sense, the quiet ones, like a ninja. But anyways, as I continued feeling into that, what that reminded me of, i.e., seeing what the root cause is, and being able to make peace with that, and also checking in with my inner child and seeing where he felt very uncomfortable, which is obviously it's me and my inner child, addressing my inner child and what made him uncomfortable about that, and just forgiving myself, forgiving my inner child, and just releasing with an inhale of a breath and an exhale, and giving it back to the universe, sending it back to God, source, whatever, however you choose to do it. As far as your release, you might release it, anchor into Mother Earth and send it down to her to transmute it. However you choose to do it, but be creative. Do your own way of doing it, and that's your way. There's no wrong way of doing it. So, but focus on here. And the biggest thing that my guides have showed me is don't depend so much on you being so clairaudient for us to tell you the answers, because you already know the answers before we tell you. Because a lot of times they don't tell me anything. I come to my own conclusion. Then I ask, is this what this is? And I get a head nod or a yes, or you're on point. But my body, this beautiful vehicle, my body literally shows me as I feel into whatever emotion that is, into whatever situation that is. And for some of you that are empathic, or some of you that are starting to learn that you're very empathic, very intuitive, just see where that comes from. There's been times where some of that has come from other lives that I wasn't aware of. I will literally feel physical pain in certain parts of my body, and I think to myself, well, I haven't done anything extraneous to cause me pain in this particular area. But if once I give myself the opportunity to just sit down and feel into that, for me anyways, I get a knowing that comes forward. What's this flash of this experience then that I had as let's just say as an indigenous person? in another lifetime. And then I start getting more details. Once I get more details, again, this is when I disconnect from everything, no distractions, and I allow myself to sit with myself, sit with my thoughts, and feel, what does this feel like? And as I just put my intention in feeling, I start getting more information via my feeling. My feeling tells me, just like when you feel happy, you know you're happy because you feel happy. You know you're sad when you feel sad. It's the same process. And that's how I have learned to start healing other aspects. But that is part of doing your own internal work and knowing yourself, knowing that you're not just this beautiful physical vehicle that you created when you decided to reincarnate and you chose your parents. So you want to talk about who am I? Well, doing your process, you're discovering who you are, all versions of who you are. And it's very beneficial, especially in your everyday life, of how does this other aspect, that experience help me here? And how can I help myself and better myself? And in turn, that being a byproduct of being able to help others, if you choose to do that.
And lots of times the energy of, we'll just, to make it simple, the energy of former other lives, right? Other selves, things and experiences you've been in this lifetime, your ancestors, there's a trauma there. There's something where the energy is kind of stuck there and frozen, and it's coming up for you to clear it. You know, a lot of ancestral clearing, you hear us talking, you know, you hear people talking about healing the ancestors, the ancestral clearing, that's a big one right now as well, right? So, and like, you know, that's why people come to things like BQH sessions, so that they can really take that deep dive within, which I love BQH. I came to these kind of sessions to assist people before I even met Ivan, because I really like the idea that while I'm facilitating and assisting you, you are taking that self-exploration. You are learning to trust yourself. You are empowering yourself so that after that session, you know, you have that, just what he was talking about a minute ago, that ability to really, you know, trust your intuition more, trust your guidance more, to feel connected, to go within and to find those answers for yourself, to really find your truth, to uncover what's there, and to learn some techniques for healing and clearing as well, that are, you know, very important for you and your journey. And you know, that something that we just discussed when we were out of town, which is what I call the security blanket of your former self, that came up. We had an experience in a situation where we went back to my home state and home city where I grew up, which is a big metropolitan area, and it's very it's very dense, and you know, they got a lot of 5G there already and stuff like that, right? And so he doesn't like it there, and I didn't like it there.
I do like
there
it
anymore, but I was used to it because I lived there my entire life, right? And so just being there for both of us triggers stuff off, but for him in particularly, he gets in this like you know,
so
kind of mode.
Where she grew up brings a lot of who I was in the military.
Yeah.
So I have been out of the Marine Corps for many moons. I don't care to be that. I can be intense. I can be aggressive. I can be all that the Marine Corps demands, especially if you're not just the Marine Corps, any military, that it demands, and it being an intense person, talking like this all the time and all that, you know, all the bravado and all that stuff. Anyways, but her living where she grew up, I was telling her, I'm like, well, crap, you didn't need to join the military. I mean, where you live, it literally feels like the military environment. Is just that intensive, not intense. You automatically, without thinking, shift into being a little bit more hyper vigilant in certain environments, and it doesn't have to be in the military. You go into some of the busy cities. LA is a very popular one. Miami's a very popular one. Go driving down the highway and see if you're not a little bit more hypervigilant than you normally would be if in a smaller town environment, right? So for both of us, for her getting out of that environment, then going back in there, and for me going back in there was bringing up certain patterns of how I used to act that helped me survive in that type of environment, and same for her, right? And that's where she was going back to, reverting back to that old version of yourself, which if you've been doing a lot of your inner healing work, that other version is null and void. You acknowledge that that's what you did, and that's how you acted and survived, because that's what you knew of how to survive, right? Whether it's a laid back environment or whether it's an intense, or it doesn't matter. You're not the same person you were at the age of 20 and the age of 30 and the age of 40. You continue to grow. This is the same process. Yes. So because where she grew up really incited a lot of me being more on guard and not being so smiley face, more of a serious face, sterner version. It really brought things up for me to literally view myself in the mirror and ask, what am I doing? Who am I? This is not the version.
But what was your response, like your coping mechanism at first? That security of the former self, right?
Because I have more facial hair. The lighting doesn't show it, but anyways. But in the military, obviously, it's a clean haircut and fully shaved, no facial hair. So that was something that I was even asking, and she thought I was doing it because to spite her, but it wasn't. It was literally something I literally had to see myself clean shaven in a reflection in the mirror to trigger and bring those memories back up in my face to address them again, which I thought I had already healed, and was already done with healing the military environment, or any intense environment. Really doesn't have to be military. Any intense environment that creates a sort of trauma, and I won't even say trauma, but yeah, your soul. And that's when I started bringing more of pieces of myself, more of my fractalized pieces, and reintegrating them just by acknowledging that, which made me go from being this person that talks like this usually to being more of this person, and which I can be whatever, but I just don't care to be that version that I needed to be, according to me, in the military. And same goes for her, just going back into her home environment. I could see her shift as well, from the pretty face you see here to a bit more of get the heck out of the way, or someone's about to get kangaroo kicked out of the way. She doesn't do that. She does not kangaroo kick no one. But my point is, you see people that talk or walk around really intense, like I'm gonna mess up MF her up, get the heck out of my way, that type of energy. And it's like we've had supposedly transcended that, but was brought up to the surface again to revisit that. Have you transcended that? Have you made peace with that? Or why do you feel that you need to be this intense all the time and talking with this intensity and that stuff? There's no need for that if you truly healed that part of you. Yes?
Yeah, and another, just in general, like another part of that is that lots of times when these things come up for you to heal and clear, you, instead of looking at them, you try to go back to old patterns that were familiar or comfortable, because the ego's like, well, this is who I am, right? And without it, it leaves a vacuum. Right? Like, who am I without this? I'm nothing without this. Like, I don't know these patterns, these behaviors. This is my identity. This is the personality, right? That I've identified with for so long. But a lot of they're so distorted. They've been coping mechanisms and, false security and everything else, for our inner child, all of it. And so when we really, these things come up and we clear them out and we look at them, right? Then we have the room to make more space to bring in more of the fresh, higher frequency, the light, the new, to bring more things to the surface, to clear out the debris.
Right.
right?
You got to clean house and make space to bring anchor in more of that divinity, which everyone is. And in those environments, you don't have to be aggressive. You can just be very freaking neutral, but not be judgmental and just, okay, well, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Oh, that's how you choose to participate. It's your choice. I'm no one to judge. That's how you choose to live. And that's that. You know, you don't have to engage in that environment of people being aggressive with each other or wanting to tear each other down verbally or whatever manner, you know.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge that that's how they choose to live, and it's their right, it's their free will, it's their choice, you know.
And it's a good lesson of what we were talking about earlier, which is what is my energy and what is everybody else's. Because you go into a big metropolitan area like that with a lot of density and very populated, millions of people in, you know, that area, right? That there's so much coming at you all the time that it's really important to have that foundation of like, this is what's mine, this is what's theirs. And so when it comes at you, you can be like, no thanks. You can keep that snarf over there. Like, I don't want any part of that, not doing that.
Right.
And realize that it's not yours, these thought forms, these energies, the things that are hanging off of people. Like if everybody had their sight on and their ability to actually see like the energies, the thought forms, the things that are just hanging on people in an environment like that, you would know why it feels bad. Like if you're empathic, but you don't have the sight to see that, you would know why it feels bad. You'd be like, oh my gosh, this is like where every gnarly energy ever came to hang out and they're having a party on everyone's face. Like, and people, you know, it's that plus the AI that doesn't help, you know, in big areas like that and all the technology and that frequency grid that holds those denser energies in as well. So yeah, definitely, comes back to, again, getting rid of the distractions, turning off, you know, we turn off our Wi-Fi, disconnect it completely in our house, unless we are using something.
Right.
And we don't even keep our devices. We have a cupboard and we have, what's it called? Faraday. We have Faraday fabric.
Right.
That we literally cover all our devices and wrap them in, and they go up in a cupboard in our kitchen for the night. And during the day, we don't, you know, like even going to the grocery store. Why do I need to take my phone to the grocery store? Why does Google need to know that I'm going to the grocery store to get groceries? Right. That's none of Google's business. So just the whole thing. Well, it's not like, does Google know that need to know that I need toilet paper and a can of peas or whatever?
Right.
Like,
you don't need to be. I don't need to be having a conversation with my wife about, I don't know, freaking set of sneakers or some sort of bike or something for our pets or whatever, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I may choose to get on social media. It doesn't matter what social media it is, and the first thing I say, for instance, hey babe, I need a new set of tires. Okay, blah blah, we're talking about whatever, and I get on social media for whatever reason, maybe an update on the Schumann energies, how it's affecting, how heavy are they, because they're, to me, when there's a lot of high energies hitting the planet, I'm freaking zonked out. I'm like, oh geez, hold on. I'm like, oh, don't let me go. But she's just like, no, I'm more energized. I'm like, oh, must be nice. Freaking zombie boy over here zonked out. It's like, clear. Is he alive? Well, he's flailing like a fish. He is a Pisces. It's okay. Toss him back in the water. He'll be fine. But it's just that. And then I just all of a sudden having advertisements of a conversation that I had with my wife in our own privacy. How private is your privacy when your technology has the ability to hear and eavesdrop on your conversations? We have beautiful technology that's very practical, but when you have technology that's voice activated, the mic is on all the time. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yep. And we all know that. You see people talk about all the time that if you talk about something, then you turn on, you know, Farcebook and there it is, right?
Right.
In your feed, like an advertisement for it or whatever. And people have picked up on that for a long time now. So we're
So-
aware of that. So if we're aware of it, why, have it around?
Be responsible about it. Don't be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Really, it's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of hackers out there that can get certain information that can figure out your driving patterns if someone were to stalk you. And let's be honest, there's some creeps out there that do that, unfortunately. And that's one way they can do that. Freaking technology is giving all your information. Here, I hang out here. Typically at this time I go work out or I go to meet with friends at the bar or blah, blah. Where's the disconnection? You literally have, even though it's a very useful tool, then that's what it is, a tool to use if used correctly. Be responsible. If you know that you have that going on and you're aware, then there's a sense of responsibility. You're not gonna give your child a freaking knife to go flinging it around like it's a freaking sword. That's quite irresponsible. So is that. So
Well, and technology too, like, our galactic families, and they use technology, but they use it in, well, not all of them, but they use it in, smart ways, safer ways to help, right?
bingo.
And so while we do have technology to help, technology has been used for a lot of nefarious stuff on this planet, which is getting cleaned up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there's been so much distortion that's come through the technology, the false matrix, the AI, the weird AI, like false matrix ascension programs that are out there, which so many people have gone down that rabbit hole and don't even know that they're participating in it, and feeding narratives that are meant to just keep you looping,
Distracted.
waiting for a savior.
Mhm.
You're your own savior, all of these type of things. And so it's been just misused in so many ways. It's just really good to step away from it. And again, learn what is yours, what's in your
Bingo.
field, what belongs to you. And then it's so much easier to have that discernment to be like, oh, ha ha ha, nice try. That's from you. Now bzzz, over there. Not doing that. And then you're able to hold your field better as well.
Right.
So
There was something about the whole AI type of stuff, which again, I'm coming back full circle. Oh, look, like healing, full circle. When I said I turned off all my technology and I go meditating, the random thoughts, then more often than not, it's more of a negative or a thought that will incite an argument with your spouse or a friend that you might be on the outs with, and then you have a random thought, I can't believe so and so did this to me, where you're absolutely not even thinking of that person, you're doing something else. Where do you think that thought comes from? Welcome to technology.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
they are waves of energy. We are receptors to energy. We feel energies as well as we emit energies. So that's how you get those random negative thought forms, or maybe not so negative. They might seem subtle or positive, but then there's a catch. So once you start recognizing what thoughts are yours, and just give yourself a moment and feel, do I feel that was mine? No. Bye. And the more you get in the habit of that, the more you literally become like a freaking rubber band and just freaking bounce it off and send it back to sender. And you're not engaging in that, and you're not being distracted by those thoughts, and that's all they're meant to do, is distract your attention from yourself, from focusing on yourself, from doing whatever you feel motivated to do. And in my experience, for a while, I felt like I was in limbo. I was like, okay, why do I talk to my guys and what have you? And I feel like I'm in the parking lot. I'm just hanging out. I'm just floating around, not going no direction. Now the energies are move. Okay, which way do I move? Move. Just move. As you move, you feel. As you feel, you know. As you know, you make decisions and you start navigating your daily freaking function. Don't create it don't do the whole, I'm a creature of habit. We are not creatures of habits. There are habits we can create to make ourselves better, but if we are infinite creator beings, we're constantly reinventing which way we choose to navigate. So I'm not gonna be eating the same breakfast every morning. Otherwise, I'd be hating waffles by the freaking third, fourth pound of them. Oh my God, waffles again. All right, healthy diet. Go team.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny.
That's true.
So,
ridiculous.
as always, these videos are just to talk about what we're experiencing, what you may be experiencing. Hopefully, they help you, and tools and other teachers out there, things that have helped us, things you can reference. And to let you know that if you want to book a session with us, you can email us at unity4gaia, same as our YouTube channel, at gmail.com. And we do have some tools and things that we've worked with that we find to be amazing helpers. And so we thought we would touch on that before we wrap up today. And the first one on our list is breath work. So breath work is, it's very interesting. A couple of years ago when I first got introduced to breath work, from being in the fitness industry, and specifically being a Pilates instructor for a couple decades, and then getting into yoga. So they're very breath focused. Like there's particular ways you breathe with your movements, you're connecting breath and movement. There's very deep breathing involved. So there is a lot of good breath work there, but you're moving while you're doing it, right? So it's a little bit different. And when I first heard about breath work, a beautiful friend of ours who is a breath work practitioner and has been for a few decades now, she was the one that introduced me to it. And at first I thought to myself, well, I breathe hard when I exercise all the time. I just sit and breathe. Like now I'm just sitting and breathing. This seems counterproductive. I don't get it. But what's amazing is you lay down, right? As long as you can, you lay down on your bed or you lay down, on a mat on the floor with some blankets, and you just start this rhythmic breathing in the chest, in and out through the mouth, which is something, last time there's breathing through the nose in yoga and different stuff. And it's this breathing through the mouth continuously, full breaths, like a big inhale and then the exhale. And you just keep going and there isn't a pause. And the first time I did breath work, I was pretty deep into my healing and awakening journey. So there wasn't a lot of like deep emotional stuff that came up for me. But what I noticed was that my cellular structure was literally like vibrating from the inside out, like the whole body. And I've been in breath work with like the dude next to me levitated off the floor. I started to leave the floor with him. Like it is amazing the energy it brings in and that it clears out through the whole body. It just rattles everything out of the cells, which is what we want. And it does bring up a lot of things for people to work on and heal and clear. But breath work is amazing. And Ivan's just recently been introduced to breath work. So I'm sure we'll be coming back and talking about that more in depthly as well as he goes forward on his breath work journey. Anything you'd like to add about breath work?
Yeah, I'd like to see myself levitate off the ground. I think that's cool as heck. I'm just saying. It's kind of weird. You're like, the floor was under my head and now it's not, and you're kind of aware of it, but you're not. But were you fully levitating or was it partial? You know what ended up being on the ground? The only thing left on the ground was my butt. I would make a comment about that, but that'd be a little bit rude, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But no, I actually look forward to a lot of the breath work because I was already breathing in and out through my mouth because I also do Qigong to move energy that way, activating your Merkaba and spin the triangles and da-da-da. But whenever I started inhaling through the nose and not through the mouth, my left ear would clog up and it would be very annoying to me. So I started breathing in through the mouth. So I started playing around with that and I was taking full breaths in through my mouth and full breaths out. And even though my Qigong time was extended a little bit more just because of that, I could tell just the amount of energy that was flowing through my body. And you may ask, how does that feel? It literally feels like your body's vibrating. And yesterday, as we did a little rendezvous with Paula, who's a phenomenal human being. I love that lady. Um, she's like my mother, but she's not. But she's my mother, but she's not. Anyways, just that you, if you exercise it, if you run at a fast pace, you know the right. But when you're literally laying down and relax, and all you're focusing on, your focus is on air intake, air exhalation, air intake, air exhalation. That in itself, if you're constantly doing it for an extended period of time, can be a workout in itself. And in turn, for me, I was actually feeling tingling sensation all around my head, and especially third eye. But afterwards, what I noticed is I was so energized just from doing that for however half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever we did. Um, that I'm very excited and very curious to see a lot of what she has said. If you have things that have not been healed, emotions will start coming up to the surface as well. And you may not know where it's coming from, but entertain that and give yourself time. Where is this? Is this some certain situation or a scenario with my parents or something, or a loved one or boyfriend, girlfriend? And acknowledge it and feel your way through it. And eventually, just like any situation, once you give it time and you're like, okay, I'm done with this. I've learned everything I could. I'm grateful for that. Or maybe you're not grateful for that. And you're just like, I just want to be done with this and I'm over it. That saying, I'm over it, is literally, you complete it, you can let it go. It's time to move on. And then you start feeling lighter. Even after the session, you start feeling a whole lot lighter just by addressing those things that felt very heavy and very dense. So this is what you call, or what letting go looks and feels like. You address the heaviness, then you let it go. And the byproduct, your body feels a lot lighter. And then you might be a little bit somber, a little bit more serious for a while because you're thinking of what came up and you're still processing and digesting that information. But as you make peace with it, as days go by, you're just like, okay, well, that experience sucked, or wow, that experience was interesting, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But you move forward through life, and now you're not carrying that drama, that trauma, that whatever you want to call it. And you even start looking more vibrant. Your body literally starts looking more vibrant, like you're glowing, the more you start doing this. And I think it's going to be quite obvious to people that are doing the work and the people that are not. Your skin starts glistening a bit more, and your physical body starts changing. For me, that's been the case. The more I've worked and released a lot of stuff, all of a sudden, without even changing my diet, I start dropping weight. And it's because that heaviness that manifested into excess weight and on the physical body. So once you release it, congratulations, you've just dropped weight without really doing much in that sense. That may mean that you may be visiting the bathroom more often than not, and you're like, what's wrong with me? You're clearing, you're handling your stuff, and you're handling your poo and releasing that poo.
Oh my gosh, Ivan.
Just saying.
Well, and the emotional body, the things that come up, the emotions that need to be cleared, the electromagnetic charge of the emotions, they're magnetized. They're stuck in our field until you release that charge. And you do that by letting those emotions come to the surface, mm-hmm. and feeling them and experiencing them over again, which is why lots of times things that are traumatic, we don't want to do that. But you need to clear those emotions. And breath work really brings that up. Like, I've been in breath work, group breathwork formats where people, you can hear them cry, they're kind of moaning, they're having some stuff come up because they went into breathwork and they are like at the very beginning, or they didn't even know they were stepping onto a healing journey. They were like, oh, right. Cool, my yoga studio's got breathwork, like I'm gonna go try this out, or my friend dragged me or whatever, right?
They said it was awesome.
So, those things, they stay magnetized into the emotional body. And our emotional body has such an influence over our physical body, it's intertwined. So it has to come up. And as you express and release those emotions, you do very often have some physical clearing that goes along with it. But lots of times the things that are connected physically in our body that need to be cleared are causing pain, disease, illness, and other things in the body that it has an emotional basis. And when you can clear and heal those emotions, you start to heal, you recover, the pain is gone. Right. So it's all so intertwined and connected, and it's why it's so important for us to do our healing work right now.
Right.
And one other thing that I think we should touch on is the weekend fixers.
Yeah.
Beware of the, I can go to this workshop and everybody wants this, this quick fix society, like take a pill, right? Or this person's advertising that you can do this 6-hour workshop on a Sunday and they're going to clear all your chakras and align you. And then, you're going to start levitating and having telepathic connection and, fairies are going to dance around you and it's all going to be magical from this point forward and you're on your journey. And it's not,
Yeah.
You've got lifetimes, you've got ancestral stuff, you've got this lifetime alone, all these things that are in there that you have chosen to come here to clear, right? So it's a lot of work. I am 46 and I've been doing this as long as I can remember. Way back before, we could get on the internet and just Google stuff, I was going through healing journeys and exploring spiritualism and stuff in my teens and in my 20s. And it just goes on and on and on and on. And I had some issues that I carried with me from childhood that took me one very definitive abandonment issue until I was 27 to really start to heal the core wound of that. After years and years and years of it being something I predominantly worked on, even as becoming a mother, I was still working on it. So, it does take time. And a lot of you right now are just waking up in the last few years. You've been totally asleep in the matrix. You've been humming along, doing your job, doing, what society is taught, this is how you function as a human being on Earth. And now you've got all this repressed stuff that's maybe 30, 40, 50, 60 years deep that you've got to clear through, stuff that's in, your lineage, right? On both sides of the family.
Right.
All this programming, all these things to work through. So it's going to take time. It takes dedication every day, but the rewards are so worth it. There's people like Ivan and I here to help you. There's so many beautiful practitioners out there that can help you. So
just follow your guidance and see what resonates with you, and that's going to be your soul is literally guiding you. Your guide is your soul, your higher self is guiding you to the appropriate people who you resonate with.
Yes.
Or excuse me, who are of the right frequency to assist you in the most efficient manner. And congratulations to all of you starseeds, all of you people that are aware, that are awakening up.
Awakening up.
Listen,
we've been talking for an hour. We're at our lips don't work anymore.
Whatever. Don't use judges my language, okay? This is Spanish and English international, okay? Okay. If you're that intuitive and you are going through this process, congratulations. You chose to do a lot of this work, not only to help yourself, but also to assist all your ancestors, which is my current process actually. And clearing the lineages, the traumas from their lifetimes and so on and so forth. And eventually it's gonna go from the Earth base to more of the galactic base and so on and so forth. And you continue to discover more of you. But it is a process. It's not a quickie. You just go in and come out and you're just like, all right, I'm fixed. No, it's a working process. Even the best healers are still healing every day. That's how they become healers. That's how they become phenomenal at what they do, because they do it every day. And it's not oh my gosh, this sucks. No, you become better at it. And that which took you maybe a week or two to process, all of a sudden comes up, oh, what is that? All right. 5 minutes later, you're like, okay, that was interesting, done. You become more efficient. It's not a drag. You become more efficient. You become better and better and better. And then you become your own guru, which you are your own guru, and then you're like, I'm the stinky poo. I'm the man, woman.
So yes, that is why we have decided to do this together, do sessions with people to assist them, to help you claim your sovereignty.
Bingo.
Your personal power, right? Because we unify, we come together in unity as we each find our own sovereignty. That's actually the secret, the magic is finding, it's not conforming and just becoming a hive mind. It's having your own sovereignty and standing in your divinity and then coming together in unity. That is what Unity for Gaia is all about.
Right. And we're actually excited to participate with people that are like-minded, that actually want to invest in themselves and do the work. And eventually, I can see us, everyone, I'm talking about collectively, collaborating in projects in one way, shape, or form. I'm still discovering more and more of my abilities. I have a lot of shamanic stuff. There's also other stuff that has already come online, which, that's on a need to know basis. So my guides haven't yet to let me know. So there you go. He's holding out, that jerk. No, I'm not. They still haven't let me know until I earn my until I earn my maturity, right? They're not going to give me the car keys to the Bugatti and expect me not to go 200 miles an hour on the highway. Like, really? Dude, you said you have your beautiful vehicle there. Go enjoy it, not go freaking be speed racer and create a freaking havoc, just scaring the poo out of people. But no, we're here to assist anyone that's serious about doing the work. And serious doesn't mean, oh, I got to be this. No, being committed. Be committed to yourself. And there's a lot of us out here that are still learning and processing and learning how to be the best stewards to our beautiful planet, and eventually, interacting with our galactic families, around this star system
and beyond.
And beyond.
Yes.
We know a lot about beyond. But anyways, it's been fun.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, you'd like to email us, anything you'd like us to maybe chat about or talk about in an upcoming show, go ahead and email us at unity4Gaia@gmail.com. And we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.